Something that sort of throws a wrench in everything is a statement made by Archbishop Vigano, and I'll pull it up here on X. So I'm going to read the full statement because it's very important that we go through what the Archbishop is alleging here, because it's quite grave. He says, on the 23rd of June, 2013, when I met Bergoglio at the Domus Sancte Marte, as already extensively reported in my memorial of August 22nd, 2018, he asked me ex abrupto, what is Cardinal McCarrick like? I replied to him, Holy Father, I don't know if you know Cardinal McCarrick, but if you ask the congregation for bishops, there is a dossier this big. He corrupted generations of seminarians. Bergoglio remained impassive and completely changed the subject. His reaction is not surprising. Bergoglio himself committed the same abuses when he was master of novices of the Society of Jesus in Argentina, as personally confided to me by one of his former novices. In bold, he says, Bergoglio does not want to oust homosexual seminarians and priests. He rather wants to complete the work of infiltration and corruption of the clergy through homosexuality and pedophilia, so that by declassifying the serious sinfulness of sodomy and corruption of minors, the door opens on the civil front to decriminalization of these crimes. Now, attached to this, and you can read the rest of this statement here, he attached this photo of Pope Francis wearing the LGBT flag. A few things before we get into the substance here. There were some gaps here that I wish the Archbishop would have filled, and I wish he wouldn't have included some erroneous things. Firstly, this photo is AI generated. It's not real. And when we're making such a serious allegation of the Holy Father, I don't think we should resort to be using fake imagery. And that's very important. It sort of sets a tone for the rest of the statement itself, which is a bad thing. Secondly, I think a man who did a great job covering all of this was Dr. Taylor Marshall, and he had a great video talking about how if this allegation is true, there needs to be some more substantiation because it's such a grave accusation. We're accusing of covering up, committing acts of pedophilia and homosexuality. This is quite grave, and having a anonymous whistleblower who says he was a novice during this time, in my opinion, it's not enough. If this grave accusation is true, it needs to be substantiated in as much length as possible, in as much completeness as Archbishop Vigano can possibly do. So a grave accusation, if Archbishop Vigano can substantiate it, this will of course be a terrible thing, and I think it would possibly explain some of these comments from the Holy Father. However, at the moment, I think we have to say innocent until proven guilty. The Holy Father has certainly not been, there is simply not enough evidence to condemn the Holy Father of these things until more things are substantiated. So that's something to keep in mind. What do you make of this statement, Brian?
No, I agree with you. I was disappointed to learn the image was real. Now again, maybe Archbishop Vigoon didn't know that. He found it online and didn't. I'm not accusing him of falsifying it. Maybe he thought it was a real image, but it's just I agree with you. Unfortunate. Secondly, I guess his theory is he makes these sort of weird statements as a cover for what he really wants to do. And that's a plausible theory that's the Peronist theory, essentially, that he says this sort of shocking thing as part of this Peronist way of pushing the agenda the other way. But to make this accusation that he personally committed these grave sins, I think you need people to come forward who witnessed this or were part of it and be willing to go on record about it. I agree. It's not enough to just say some unnamed person told me this. It's really it's unfair to all priests because that's what often happens. Somebody just makes an unfounded accusation and tries to ruin a person. So I think if you are going to make these, you have to bring the people forward.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.